Yo, what is good? Quick Crypto family and my Coin Factory family, and welcome back again to another daily Casper and crypto live stream. I know I'm extremely early today. I do apologize to those who are watching on playback and couldn't attend in real time. I am unfortunately going to be a lot busier later on today. However, I figured still get the daily content out as opposed to just completely skipping a day. I wanted to make sure I'm still keeping up with my daily content, your daily FOMO of crypto and Casper. And the markets right now are looking a little bit worse for wear, seeing some corrections today. And this is still in line with our predictions, remember? We said we might see a Bitcoin come back to $100,000 potentially. But what is also very interesting to note is we have some form of sources, speculation. I mean, I say speculation, it's quite strong confirmation. We have to see how it pans out. But next week we could end up seeing a significant rally, being that we're going to end up seeing potentially the admission of the stablecoin legislation in America. So, you know, if that's the case, it wouldn't necessarily be an explosion per se, but it will be the first confirmed significant step towards mass institutional adoption, which we're already getting, but when they can actually start trading stablecoins, start using stablecoins to trade on blockchain. Right now they can, you know, buy stuff with Bitcoin, stuff like you're seeing more stuff like that anyways, but you're going to be able to see stablecoin transactions with institutions happening very, very soon. And when that happens, assets all across the board are going to go so much higher. And yeah, I think Casper again holding quite strong right now. It's still not fallen below this 10.7 cents, which again, if you drew out the fib retracement we've been drawing out the last few streams, look at it right now, you can see the fib retracement suggests that Casper should potentially see a rebound, worst case 10 cents, or maybe down here, worst case, but in a more shorter time frame, which I think where we're currently looking at right now. I think we're looking more so around this zone here, which does put Casper to get a rebound at the golden pocket at 10.7, which is where you saw it rebound twice here. So if we see Casper continue to correct, which I've been made over the next few days, over this weekend, so you can correct over the weekend, and potentially when the market opens on Monday, you'll see crypto start to make this relief rally in the belief we're going to start seeing stablecoin regulations coming out very, very soon. So that could be, again, a very big catalyst in coming, a lot more to look forward to. As always, though, if you enjoy these content, these daily lives, you leave a like, share with your friends, subscribe for more, and hold even more in tune to crypto and Casper. Check out the free server, linked up below in the description, and also the VIP group to be even more locked in with what is to come from institutional sentiment, how we're going to see the biggest explosion of wealth transfer in history. All information and institutionalized documents supporting those facts are put in that community there, alongside trading, alerts from our designated trader in their chart flows, and much more education there as well. So yeah, we'll be doing our weekly live stream as well tomorrow on Sunday. So if you want to even be locked in for that as well, and find out what sort of information we do talk about every single week and the belief we have, then again, come check it out. Linked up in the description and also my homepage as well, wop.com/coinfactory. Welcome everyone to the stream once again though. DD, my man, welcome back, brother. All in first. Yes, welcome back, my man. Great to have you back. Kryptoni, there he is. You know it. Every single day. And you too, Falcon, my man. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you have all very, very good day so far and a great weekend so far. So boring. When will Casper break above Drake and hold above 20 cents? We've been waiting for 18 months. Okay, but then we've also had a massive 2.5x in the past month. You can't expect Casper to have a very, very tough, 9-month period here. 9-month period of frustration. And now we've seen it gain half of that back in a month. And, it's been a frustrating 18 months, I agree, yes. But at the same time, we only say that now because we're down here. Nobody was saying anything when Casper was up here. We're like, oh, Casper going higher and higher and higher. Casper went through this whole massive pullback, and now we're saying 18 months. It's not been 18 months. Technically speaking, it's not been 18 months. It's been 9 months from August 1st. Still a long time, of course. I'm not discrediting that, but it's been 9 months, not 18. 18 is just how the chart looked, but it's not been 18. We started going back from then. And even now, again, we've made half of that. Like, we've already made, from 5 cents, we're up to like 11 cents now. So we've made a significant portion of that back already. And we're going to end up seeing a lot more coming through very soon. I'm still optimistic we'll see Casper return to all-time highs around that zone. I want to say going into August, maybe July. It really, really does depend on, the macro factors and the fundamentals and how the Fed acts. Because right now, CPI is looking good, so they're more inclined to cut rates. PPI is a bit mixed, so they're kind of uncertain right now. They're still waiting to see how tariffs actually act. So we've still got more developments to pay attention to, but so far the M2 is still extremely high, which suggests therefore that we're going to start seeing more momentum in crypto and, you know, bullish movement, you know, shortly, very, very shortly. You know, start seeing it going towards, you know, June time as well. So, I mean, yeah, it's been frustrating, but don't be emotional, be logical. Patience is a virtue, and I think right now our patience is going to pay off very, very well, considering what's going to be coming out very soon. If you've been able to DCA into Kaspa all these zones right here, you're going to be praying you could have bought more Kaspa when it ends up rocketing off later on the cycle. Welcome back, Adam, man. Hope you're doing very, very well, brother. Long consolidation to create the breakout. Yes, that's also true. A video that I've covered in a few of my videos and streams comes from Cathie Wood, the CEO CEO, COO, and founder of ARK Invest. Someone who is deemed as the Warren Buffett of crypto, effectively. I'm not joking, that's actually how they perceive her. And she has stated regarding to Tesla stocks, but that's a commonality with anything in investments, which is the longer the base, the bigger the breakout. So while Kaspa only been coming down for, you know, 9 months, if you want to make the argument of 18 months again, that's 18 months of Kaspa just chopping sideways, effectively. So when we break out above 20 cents, it's going to be an explosive one, because we've been down for so long, and the investors now will be like, okay, we've been down for 18 months now, we want the price to pump now, we're going to send it to the moon. Of course, that's just key trigger word talk. I'm not saying literally to the moon, not saying, you know, $50 Kaspa or something stupid like that, but it could definitely exceed expectations. We need Powerball moves for anything resembling an altcoin season to happen. We can't keep going sideways or 1 cent moves. We need big moves and quick. 25 is half over. We still got loads of time, brother. I do you the favour of reminding you again of assets like Solana, of Ethereum, of Cardano, of AVAX. You know, all these assets here. Solana in the last cycle, it didn't move at all until August. We're in May, so we've got 3 months left. Didn't move till August. And then it jumped 10x in value. Ethereum in its first cycle made some moves and didn't really move then at all until November. Then went from 25 to 125 billion market cap. So 5x in 2 months. Cardano did a bit more of a gradual rally, truth be told. Going, you know, starting in, you know, January, going all the way to the November part. So maybe Cardano's not a great example. But then looking at AVAX as well. Similarly to Solana, didn't move until August. It came up, came down, and started moving in August. And then jumped from 2.5 bill to 30 billion market cap, a 15x in AVAX. So while I agree we do need parabolic moves, we have got so much time still. So much time. And the big market catalysts, which is what I'm going to showcase in a moment, one of them, they aren't coming out. You know, some of them, it looks like there's going to be some form of announcement about it next week potentially, but they aren't going to be fully implemented, in at least the belief, until August, which is when we're going to start seeing more capital inflows. So I agree with you, we do need parabolic moves, but, you know, we have still got so much more time left. So much more time left. And we see once more, every single cycle, how quickly, how parabolic and how quickly these assets can rally in such a short span of time. And that's even, you know, evident in Kaspa right now, where Kaspa's rallied after seeing a long drawn-out pullback, rallied 2x in a month. Of course, we're still massively undervalued, I'd argue, and we still got a long way to go. But again, I'm still not remotely worried. Logically speaking, looking at history, we have nothing to be worried about right now. We've got so many massive catalysts. I'm talking stablecoin legislation. I'm talking the crypto market structure bill. I'm talking more of these announcements we're going to get into in a moment, like this stuff here. I'm talking, and then for Kaspa's sake of it, and then more developments, more adoption, more tier 1 listings, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, we have still got enough time. We're in May. Typically, cycles can last till December. And because we've got institutions here as well, we have no idea what the market stop's going to be. Because if we get legislation coming out in August, let's just say for argument's sake, August, September, October, November, December, that's 5 months. That could be enough time for institutions to want to pump the markets, but you wouldn't want it to. You wouldn't want to get into crypto, have access to crypto for and only pump for a month. So it wouldn't be August and then tops out in, you know, October or September even. They're going to probably want it to pump it for 5-6 odd months. So you might see it go into Q1 2026 maybe. Again, we'll have to wait and see. But I'm still not worried. The parabolic moves come. It will happen slowly and then suddenly, and then you'll be like, oh damn, wish I bought more at the bottom. When the SECs have finished filling their bags, 10 BVS is out, that's the FOMO will take. It is not a belt. that we need, but a safety harness. Well, I see what you mean. Yeah, I mean, yeah, again, once the tier 1 have had their fill of Kaspa and finally accumulated enough, with 10 BPS being out and what's coming up for Kaspa and crypto, you know, they're going to just extend it all to the moon, listing Kaspa and send it much higher as well. I agree. We don't need more. I am a shark with a 3-cent average. I will sell at the top and it will drop over 9% in the bear. No confirmation of that. There's no confirmation of that at all, unfortunately. Normally, yes, crypto and alts do drop 90% or, you know, massive amounts during bull to bear. Bitcoin dropped 70-80%. But again, everyone's seemingly forgetting how this cycle was different. Fundamentally, at the base layer, we've got institutions here. If you're an institution who's investing into the market, are you going to want your investment to drop 90% in value? Not really. I mean, they're only going to have a small allocation of their portfolios in crypto, so maybe they can afford to do so. So maybe it's fine. But there's no guarantee of that. Remember, the stock market is where loads of institutions have their investments into. And stock markets, they typically correct 30% from bull cycle to bear cycle. Now, crypto's still massively undervalued. You know, crypto's at 3 trillion, where stocks are like at 50. So it's much smaller. So you're going to still probably see a big correction, but there's no guarantee it's going to be as much as 90. But the whole premise of, you know, taking your whole bag out with a low average, so shout out to you, Paul, and then DCAing back in, I mean, yeah, go for it. But I mean, that's pretty much what I'm going to do with myself as well. I'm not going to take out my whole bag. I'll take out some capital, definitely. I'll DCA back into the bear cycle. But I'm not, you know, I haven't got an actual ideology or any prediction of how far we're going to correct, because it's not. There's certain elements where history does not work here, and one of them again being the fact that we've got institutions here for the first time. That's something that we can't predict. You know, the fact that we are currently still feeling some sort of bearish sentiment with Bitcoin at 100k is mental, by the way. We were at 70k, 69k last cycle. We're hovering at 100k, and we still got bearish sentiment. That's mental. We still got a lot longer to run as well. So I did an 8x from 21st of January to 21st of February, similar to ADA, and then it bested out again in the final 2 months to the Bitcoin peak. I mean, yeah, again, all of them did a nice little run up first. Nice little run up. They did a pullback for like 8 months almost, and then made an explosion. That's what I mean. Again, like we still have so much more time left. And as you look again at the market chart, right now, alts aren't pumping because we still have Bitcoin dominance being at such high levels. Bitcoin dominance is rallying up again. That's why alts are bleeding quite a lot right now, because Ethereum's not really rallying, nothing's rallying. Bitcoin's dominant after falling off, you know, came down what, 2-3%? Okay, 5%. It's now making that pullback again. Bitcoin dominance is growing again. And I told you it's going to happen. But not. I said this little bleed we're seeing right now. I mean, we're seeing Kaspa go parabolic, Ethereum go parabolic. It's fantastic, of course, seeing money coming back into these projects. But these are simply, this is not confirmation of an altcoin cycle. It never was. It was an altcoin, you know, burst, if you will. But we've seen it numerous times. And again, if you look at the last 2 cycles, we saw the dominance reach at 73% before we saw the altcoin cycle properly start when it came down. It's no different this time around as well, I believe. I think we'll see again, Bitcoin probably reach 73% or so, or in the 70s, and then you'll see it come down quite excessively, and then also go quite parabolic, and then some may not even pump until, because again, Solana here didn't pump until here. Solana pumped here. So it actually come down, didn't move down here. This is May, didn't move down here, it moved 3 months later. So you might see the same thing with other assets as well. And the fact of the matter being as well that altcoin dominance came down from January to May in 21. Of course, then that double top element as well in the last cycle. We've seen the dominance still staying up high for longer, so we therefore might see a later cycle top. Dominance came down in January to May. And we're still we're in May right now, and dominance not really coming down. I mean, it had a pullback, but I still don't see why it would be coming down yet. We've still got so much more Bitcoin adoption to come. So in that regard, yes, to get into some of the news here, we've got this one here. Publicly traded Basel Medical Group announces they will be buying $1 billion worth of Bitcoin. The corporate adoption wave is here. That is huge news. And that's still, again, early adoption. We've still not got the official second wave of institutional adoption being here yet. We're still early on. Fast food chain giant Shake and Shack is now officially accepting Bitcoin Lightning Network payments. That's massive news. We're seeing actual use case now of Bitcoin being utilized in the real world to pay for things. Now, Bitcoin is not efficient, and Kaspa's far, far faster, so Maybe Kaspa will be there one day as well. But point being, you're now seeing massive chains. It's one thing you have small business and merchants. You've got massive corporate chains accepting crypto payments. That's a huge deal. Once more proof how we're going to go so much higher. Corporate adoption is now coming through thicker and faster as well. And then in regards to the title being Kaspa Breakout next week, Trump is going to be sending out some letters to countries for new trade deals, which could hopefully be very, very good, as we do have trade deals now with the United Kingdom and China, to my belief, and more coming through soon enough. And Senator Bill Hagerty says the Senate will make history next week by passing crypto stablecoin legislation. So they're going to pass that, establish the first ever pro-growth crypto regulatory framework for payments of stablecoins. The bill will cement US dollar dominance, which is what it's all about, so important, protect customers, increase demand for US treasuries, and ensure that innovation in the digital asset space is in the hands of the United States of America and not our adversaries. This is, should it get passed, again, this is Senator Bill saying it here, but last time there was a belief it was going to get passed and it got, rejected. They have made some amendments now, so it should everyone be in favour now, or more be in favour now. But if you don't get it passed, it'll be a big, big problem. If you get it passed next week, that'll be a very bullish catalyst, and that therefore could incite the next, bullish leg up for Bitcoin and crypto and Kaspa therefore as well. We've still got high Bitcoin dominance though, so everyone will be following Bitcoin. Eventually, also start running again, and then we'll see Kaspa go parabolic as well. We're forced to come through it again, smart contracts, stable coins, potentially Dagnite, native smart contracts, tier 1 listings, the KRI launching their projects for Kaspa as well, more dApps and stuff coming on Kaspa as well, like all this sort of stuff coming to Kaspa. A lot to look forward to. I'll get into all of that in a moment as well. But that is huge news, and therefore potentially could incite for a breakout happening next week. Do you think Kaspa will fix the market fee issue? It's not Kaspa's fault. The market fee issue, I'm trying to exactly know what you mean by that. Because if you're talking about Kaspa as the ledger for its market fee, Kaspa has its own unique way where you can pay an increased fee for high priority of the transactions. If you're talking about the price of Kaspa right here, Kaspa does not control that. If you're talking about the exchanges, again, Kaspa does not control that. If you're talking simply about the infrastructure, the layer 1 of Kaspa, and how transactions are done, Kaspa has a unique feature that lets you if you choose to pay higher transaction fees to have higher priority of your transactions. But if you're talking about the price of Kaspa right now, that's not Kaspa's thing to fix that. That's just adoption coming from exchanges and whatnot. So when will Kaspa therefore go up in value? I mean, again, I think we're months if not weeks away. Like Buzz Lightyear to Infinity Beyond, exactly. Kaspa is like Buzz Lightyear. You think the Bitcoin market altcoins have to wait for now? Yeah, pretty much. Again, that's because Bitcoin dominance once more is going up again. We had a nice rally for a week when Ethereum rallied up massively from, more so here, from the 9th of May up to, which was around 1.8k to 2.6, 2.7k. And a massive rally for Ethereum then. Kaspa also went parabolic in that time as well, going from 9 cents to 13 cents. So that's also quite a significant rally for Kaspa as well in that time. 50%. Without dominance of Bitcoin's come up again. So now we've got to just play the waiting game, as we've been doing for a while now. It's frustrating, yes, but, it's going to come. So, I mean, I'm not remotely worried. I mean, as much as I want to make money from crypto, and I know I will, and I believe we all will, the money that hopefully the money you've all invested, the money that I've invested into crypto is money that I can afford to lose. Of course, I don't want to lose it, and I don't think I will lose it, because I've invested in the right places, in my belief. But you should not be investing in money that you need desperately right here and now to pay off rent or anything like that. That'd be the worst thing you could do. Much an investment's a way to give yourself financial freedom and whatnot. You should never ever be putting money you significantly need there and then for food or rent or anything like that in investments. It should be excess money you can afford to lose. That's how it should be done. So that's why I'm also not remote. That's why I can always be very detached emotionally and be logical when I'm thinking about it. Because the money I have in crypto, despite of course I want it to make money, I'm not worried it won't make money. But even if it does, I'm not bothered because it's not money that I need right now. So, I mean, that's in that regard as well. I think we have to forget the old precepts. These teachers are there, and yes, we have to deal with them. Who knows what is planned and what will happen in the bear market? That's my point exactly. Of course, analyzing historical data is also very important. That's why it's the same way how I say fundamentals matter more than TA, but TA is still important for crypto. Historical data for the crypto market is also very important because I understand that we're going to a new space now, where everything we know, from real estate to bonds to debt to stocks, everything's going to be tokenized on a blockchain. Everything. That transformation is happening right now. With that in mind, therefore, and the adoption starting now, this year, this cycle, with institutions getting involved now, what's to say they want this asset class to go from its typical bull 90% correction down to the bear? There's nothing saying that at all. Historical data says that, but we've got a new market. A completely new market. So we cannot confirm that at all. We just got to play it by ear, play reactionary as we always do, and keep researching. Welcome back, Ghosted Man. Hope you're doing very, very well. So early still at work, lurking away for now. Hey, love to hear, brother. Thank you very much for joining once again, and hopefully you don't get in trouble at work. And yes, hello, brother. Welcome back. Maybe Casper will be the coin that performs longer during the bull run. Selling too early is not always good. That's why keeping a good part of my bag is always a good option. I mean, for me, yeah. Taking profits, right? When you're investing, the best risk strategy that I use all the time when it's going up is I'll take profits on the way up. If Cas was to do that and then come down like that, I'll take profits here, 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 and then I'll probably end up, maybe I'll get lucky and time the top. Unlikely, probably, because time the top is basically impossible. And then I'll start taking some profits, maybe coming down a little bit here, and then once it gets to a certain level, be like, okay, yeah, now I'm not going to take any more profits, and I maybe start buying back here. I'll start buying in here. Again, if you take everything out too early, you'll get caught out. But if you don't take anything out, equally you get caught out. That's why taking profits is normally the safe way to secure, investments, I'm talking about the emission schedule for the miners after it's 100% mined. Oh, right. Well, in that case, then you're going to be fine. Because, and I've been showcased this by a couple members actually in my community, my free Discord server, where they've showcased the proof of them, where they've been mining Casper, and it's been, while they may not be making as much money now as they were beforehand, before 10 BPS, but they're making more consistent capital now. Beforehand, they were making, they might mine maybe 10 blocks a month. Now, they're mining significantly more blocks a month because you have 10 times more likely to hit a block, but not making much money. But the difference is, when the adoption comes through the Casper, and therefore the miners aren't mining blocks to mine Casper, they're mining transaction fees. And then right now getting rewarded Casper as well. But when the adoption comes through, when the smart contracts come out and the dApps are built and people are trading on the platform, people who are mining, who secure the network, will be mining the emissions, mining the gas fees. Therefore, they'll be able to make, they'll get the reward of currently 5.2 Casper plus how much is in that transaction block, which could be again, it depends how much is inside a transaction right there. So the quote-unquote fix for that is not a Casper thing. It will come with adoption. You see adoption, and that will come through starting the cycle, and the miners will therefore make a lot more money. Welcome back, Nether Cash Bro. Who are doing very, very well. Let's go. More Casper. I need it now. Amen, brother. I need it desperately myself right now. And in that regard, before we get into more of the questions, what's up, Bingo Man? Hope you're doing very, very well. Welcome back to the channel. To get into the next part, we've got this. I've gone through all of these macro factors here. The next one that I think is very, very important to cover is this post here from Coperate letter, and then this article regarding it from Zero Hedge, talking about how Moody's has downgraded the United States credit rating, citing concerns over increasing US government debt. It's very, very important here. So they, this whole article, again, this was leaked by Cody earlier, and it is extremely bullish news. Ultimately, it's regarding the US economy. Moody, which is a major company that assesses the credit worthiness of a country, so they're kind of like, they're kind of the peacekeepers, as you were saying, whether it's worthwhile or not. They basically slightly lowered the rating of the United States, you can see. Moving it down just only by a notch, but even then, that's still a little bit worrying. So essentially, what they're saying is the US is still a very strong economy, but they're concerned about the increasing amount of debt in the government, and it's been taking it on for decades now, and it's growing. So the cost of paying the debt is going up higher and higher and higher, and they're worried about that. And even though it's still very, very strong, they're worried about it potentially falling off. And they don't see a clear path or a clear plan in place to significantly reduce these issues in the future. And they expect things to potentially worsen as, entitlement spending rises. So basically, Moody here is acknowledging the strength of the US economy still, but this downgrade is a signal that these debt concerns are becoming more significant and could lead to higher borrowing costs down the line. Now, while they highlight there's no... Let me close that window real quick, that dog is being too loud. Sorry, guys. I love animals at times, but don't bark at my recording, please. And that's from next door, but that's like across the street from me as well. They just left their doors open because why not? Neighbours are so much fun. As I was saying, yeah, so Moody's highlighting here they have no plan, right, to, prevent or, improve the government debt crisis effectively right now. And for me, that's where I think they're massively... what's the word I'm looking for? They're not taking into account this information here. The fact that they're currently introducing, again, crypto legislation. They have the plan to tokenize everything, stocks, bonds, real estate, and debt, T-bills. Do you see anything in crypto or in a company or whatever that says tokenize T-bills? T-bills are debt. So there is a plan with, crypto to be able to tokenize debt. And that therefore could help in, paying off the debt and effectively basically making it easier. So that for me is very, very bullish. Identifying that, again, the US economy is weakening, which therefore means investments are more favourable, and therefore also knowing that debt's going to be tokenized on the blockchain as well. The path to saviour for that is crypto again. So this is extremely bullish news once again for me about where we are going in the cycle. It's not going to be an overnight thing, of course. It will take a few years, but the development for this is taking place now this year. And Kaspa, could also be the platform for that in the future. Again, we'll have to wait and see where it goes from here, but Kaspa, again, is extremely early. Looking at the holders right now, again, still got 524,000 holders. Not seeing much in terms of inflows right now. Mexi's been accumulating a lot recently. Gone up massively over the last 3 or 4 days. We can see here. Looks like they've been buying from, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's been a Gates wallet I've been hearing. So, Kaspa, again, not much in regards to inflows and outflows right now. But again, Kaspa's just stagnating right now. It happens. You still see inflows happening across the board. This wallet scooped up 6 million Kaspa when it only had 4 million before. And Kaspa, again, right now it's down 4.21%. But again, this is just, as I mentioned in the last couple of days, I did suspect that we'll probably see a pullback for Bitcoin and crypto over the next, couple of days or week or so, going into the end of May. When end of May is when I suspect that we'll probably start seeing a significant rally, especially if we do get this crypto legislation bill coming out. That'll see a lot more adoption and then seeing crypto rally higher as well. Will need increase in adoption. Yeah, exactly. Kaspa can solve the increase in adoption, but it will not solve the transaction fees. That will depend on adopters. The adoption will help in the transaction fees element. Again, that will, it depends on adopters. Take out loans against all of your assets and max out your personal credit lines into crypto. This is a once in a simple. I'm not a financial advisor, and while crypto is going to be the most transformative shift we've seen ever, you've got people like Raoul Pal, who's predicting that in the next 10 years we'll see this asset class rise to 100 trillion, which I do think's a possibility actually. I would, again, I'm not a financial advisor, and while this space is seemingly destined to explode, the level of risk you're taking on by, maxing out personal credit and stuff like that to get into crypto is at your own risk. I have not done that, and I don't plan to do that, but I am also comfortable in what I have right now. And the fact of the matter being as well, the fact that I'm here already for institutions means I'm already fortunate enough and can make significant gains without having to add extra risk. But that's just me personally. And I'm sure Tony doesn't mean that in financial advice say either. The miner control transaction fees. The more transactions are sent to the chain, the more blocks can be mined, making it more profitable for miners. The miner transaction fee is fixed. The block rewards are nothing more than pre-adoption incentive. I mean, yeah, that's kind of how I perceive it as well. I mean, this is just, again, people mine the blocks to get Kaspa right now. But Kaspa's whole model is to mine the block from the transaction fees. So they'll end up getting money from that. And then, eventually when all the Kaspa is gone, they'll still be able to get, money through the transaction of the block, getting Kaspa through the blocks transactions. When we see Bitcoin dump, alt dump, Bitcoin up, alt up, money is not trickled down as many think, and we'll see what they will print. Bitcoin dominance does not go down yet. Alt goes up, it makes me think. I mean, right now, yeah, because we're in a Bitcoin dominant market. When Bitcoin goes down, everything goes down. When Bitcoin goes up, everything goes up. The money will not trickle down. But again, think about it back here. This whole, when the Bitcoin dominance was falling off, Bitcoin dominance, Ethereum started rallying on the 8th of May. 8th of May here was here for Bitcoin. So Bitcoin still did rally in value. Still rallied in value, but then it had this whole consolidation phase when Ethereum was still actually pumping a little bit. So Bitcoin still rallied in value, but dominance fell off massively, and alt started getting more favor. So that's what I mean. When people are, what's the word, misunderstood maybe about the whole element of Bitcoin dominance falling off means that Bitcoin's going down in value. No, not necessarily. We saw Kaspa and Ethereum and these other assets go parabolic last week, jumping up 10% on the daily at times. But Bitcoin just didn't move in value. Didn't necessarily mean that Bitcoin money was injecting into alts, therefore sending Bitcoin down in value. It just meant that the narrative shift towards altcoins at the time. You would have seen some Bitcoin capital go that way, but it didn't necessarily dump Bitcoin per se. Bitcoin dominance right now is extremely high and it's rallying again. Eventually, that dominance will fall off and altcoin dominance will start rallying again. And when that happens, then you'll start seeing these alts go parabolic. Welcome back, Andy, man. Hope you're doing very, very well. I just got 13.127 more Kaspa out of Kraken. Love to hear that, brother. Keep stacking that bag, my man. Keep stacking indeed. Welcome back, Buff Blink. Hit that like button, yes. As you always remind me, if you enjoy these streams, we do streams every single day, leave a like, share with your friends, and subscribe for more. Just seeing, yeah, both the Tonys just debating about the nature of the mining and the transaction fees, which, I mean, again, if you want to be involved in that chat, by all means, go for it. Always good to see people trying to learn more about the space and what's coming through as well. Now, in regards to some of the news, we have some more here. This is something that I thought was quite interesting from Kaspa's report here. Shout out to, I believe it was Tony who put this in as well. Kaspa has effectively achieved the highest market cap among cryptocurrencies that have seen virtually no institutional adoption, which is quite a big thing. So all its growth has been organic, arising almost entirely from non-institutional market participants, with over 91% of the total supply already mined and widely dispersed. Non-institutional participants have gained a substantial first mover advantage. So we have got a massive first mover advantage. This advantage is so extreme that institutional players recognise they won't be able to acquire enough supply to dominate the market. As a result, they don't and arguably can't adopt Kaspa. In this very dynamic, Kaspa offers a glimpse into the world where truly decentralized money exists, money that everyone wants yet immune to centralized control. And that is, for me, quite an interesting point. It does maybe will raise cause for concern, but I'm also not too worried about it. Because, of course, the one thing that institutions want more than anything in the world is control. We've been talking about that time and time again. Control. It's all about control. They've had control for years and years and years, and they're going to lose it now with crypto, especially with Kaspa. And because Kaspa, has such an aggressive mission schedule, therefore giving us early adopters a massive advantage against the institutions who've been late. It means that if they want to adopt Kaspa, they only have, such a small supply to work with, when we have had the whole 90% of supply so far. Now, of course, you see Kaspa going back and forth. The point being is these institutions want to adopt Kaspa, but have to do it like everybody else, slowly, bit by bit. They can't just, buy up 20% of the supply and just dominate it like that. So, in that very dynamic, therefore, it does potentially mean that Kaspa, therefore, isn't and maybe never will be adopted by institutions, at least properly. But at the same time, you've got the KRI who are going to bring institutional use cases for Casper, powered by Casper, these projects that will give the institutions an inkling to what Casper actually is about. And therefore, they're going to want to adopt Casper. So for me, I do agree that maybe the reason we've not been seeing any adoption so far is because they realise they can't get enough supply, and therefore they don't want to adopt it. But inevitably, when Casper starts rallying more and more, I mean, this thing here is huge. Casper's faster, significantly faster. Significantly faster. So when that comes to fruition, you'll end up probably seeing the institutional sentiment shift to Casper as well, and you'll see more adoption as well. But Casper, is in, by, I guess, all means, it is, immune to centralized control, which I think is, again, what money should be. Resistant to human greed and centralized control. Of course, it's not omnipotent. We spoke about it recently with yesterday with Coinbase, and in regards to the Coinbase element, Casper is still susceptible to social engineering hacks, because social engineering is not typical. It's it is resistant to human greed elements more so than any other crypto asset, but social engineering hacks are different because it targets the individual, the person. So while it just still mean that you can get somebody who's trying to impersonate someone from Casper, or impersonate one of the layer 2s on Casper, trying to make you give them your information. So ultimately, so the way that you as a Casper user and holder should do to be resistant to social security hacks is be suspicious, or be on alert to any messages or requests from anybody about your Casper. Never ever share your private keys or CFAs with anybody. Always verify the legitimacy of any communication claiming to be from Casper or related services through official channels. If you can and should, enable two-factor authentication or on exchanges or whatever you hold your Casper. Strong passwords, of course, and be cautious about clicking links or downloading attachments from unknown sources. And then just keep educating yourself about how these bad actors tend to try and target the individual to get their information, and just don't. We're in a unique time right now where we can make significant gains. You don't want to be losing your money because someone's just managed to what's the word I'm looking for again? Take advantage of you. Having a brain fart today. In continuation, we got here again for Casper Daily here. Liquidity depth on MEXC remains significantly thinner compared to other major exchanges. It currently takes just $27,000 in market buys to push the price up 2%, around 41,000 to sell the drop by 2%. So this is actually very, very interesting. Almost every other platform moving the price by the same amount typically requires over $100,000 in capital. This highlights how exposed MEXC is to the rapid price swings, especially during high volume events. That is, for me, quite ridiculous. And you can see that even more so looking at it right now. MEXC right now, the depth is 62 to 37, up and down. Buy bits are hundreds and 200s. Gate. The lower ones right now are like Bing X with Bitmart's also quite low as well. But MEXC is obviously a very, very big exchange. LBAC's low as well. So you're seeing again how much it actually takes to move the price of Casper on these exchanges. It's more that these ones are a lot more volatile. MEXC, Bitmart, LBank, Bing X is a little bit volatile when it comes to pumping the price at least. So again, this is just once more an indicator to, I guess, MEXC's manipulation of Casper to an extent. Because again, if you had Casper, you could effectively be more effective trading on MEXC, seeing more significant and quick price swings. But at the same time, trading Casper on MEXC, I would right now and indefinitely not recommend it. Not advising it, of course, but not recommend it, because MEXC have seemingly been manipulating the price of Casper. And the last thing you want to do is give them your holdings and your assets. Got more updates here as well. Also very interesting to see. We've got Casper Finance, KFC, who is very, very new. I've not heard about them too much. Again, if I look at who's following them right now to get more insight, Casper Commons. So again, who used to run Casper.com. Justin, KNS, Casper Door. That for me is very, very good news. I think that's the biggest one that I'm happy about hearing. Casper Maxi, Casper Silver also very good. Chris Hutchinson very good. Chris Log very good. So and Wolfie is good. This one again, this is the first I've heard of them, but I can trust them right now. For me, I choose to trust them because you've got Wolfie. Again, I'm not saying these guys are on. Again, they know perfectly, because again, they can still be fooling these people here as well. But if I see Wolfie and I see Caspador, these two in particular, following a Casper native or Casper like project effectively, I choose to believe that actually they are trustworthy. So, you know, Casper Finance here, dev, update, add, remove liquidity pages, swap functionality via graph nodes, liquidity pools plus volume tracking, custom price ranges for any pair. Go test it out next week. So you're going to see some dev nets next week for Casper Finance, which is very, very good to see. DeFi on Casper EVM coming alive. Great stuff to see all around. So they're building the future of decentralized finance on Casper's Ethereum virtual machine, the Casplex Layer 2. It's a bit pixelated right now, so hopefully it'll smooth in a second. But this is what we're trying to, this is the future, there you go. The future we're right now witnessing and looking forward with Casper, what's coming through. More of these Ethereum virtual machines, more of these DEXs coming out, you know, and then think about what's going to happen with stablecoins coming out future as well. Like, this is, again, the future for Casper is looking very, very bright. There's so much development going on right now. You can see MetaMask wallet right there as well. This is the future we envision with Casper, and seeing more adoption coming through is fantastic stuff all around. And equally, we've got this post here from Johnny, who just listened to Tim Draper's podcast with CoinDesk, where he stated that Bitcoin to replace USD in 10 years, once I can buy my food, my clothing, my shelter, my taxes, all in Bitcoin, and it's a better way to collect taxes. You know, sounds more like the future of Casper, as you can't wait for Bitcoin's 10-minute block time when you want to buy food or clothing. And I mean, that's again something that I think is very insightful. And again, it's obviously the mentality of us as maxis, but as we understand it, there is a possibility. I mean, that's what, again, you've seen Baal Powell saying in 10 years we'll see $100 trillion market in crypto. You're seeing Bitcoin being used now for payments right now, and it could very well replace dollars, with stablecoins being the main thing going forward from that as well. So it's a possibility. But at the same time, Bitcoin is too inefficient and too slow. Casper is not. And when you see these applications coming out more and more, and you see the ability to actually have merchants and companies stuff paying and trading with Casper on the quicker, more efficient proof of work layer 1, for me it's a no-brainer. Casper is extremely early. We're going to see a lot more come into it in the near future. Casper, again, 11.3 cents. It's a bargain. My belief, not financial advice, not telling you to go and buy Casper, up to you. But Casper had a very, very good run. And I think Casper is, again, on track for that all-time high retest and breakout. If we're going to look for more resistances right now, as I've seen people highlight, I think this could be a good strong level of resistance right now to break above that. So we might see some resistance around 16 cents or so. And then we might see, again, once it breaks above that, 20 cents, and then once it breaks above that, it'll be more or less clean sailing from there. I think we've still got a bit more time to wait, though. I'm hopeful that we do get the stablecoin bill next week, because that will be, for me, a good confirmation and probably a good catalyst to seeing Bitcoin break above, following that M2 supply again. Therefore, Casper and crypto to follow in suit. And that will be a fantastic, time to see. Again, we're seeing this pullback right now. You can see, again, that retest of all-time highs. End of May, pullback again. And then we see that push with stablecoin bills again. You can see that push towards past all-time highs going higher as well, going into June, and then for Casper following suit as well, which would be huge news. So yeah, maybe we see the market when it opens on Monday, because again, that's what I heard Mike Novogratz say, that we'll see a bill coming on Monday. I don't exactly know if it's going to be on Monday or sometime next week, but if it is going to be Monday, that's going to be huge, and therefore when the market's open, you might see FOMO flood in very quickly. Maybe FOMO comes in tomorrow as well. Who knows? I'm waiting for the breakout and the adjustment. It's nice to know that your homework is paying off and that you were right. See the money coming into your bank. Oh yeah, precisely that. Of course, we believe our research and stuff is right here. We've done a lot of research into Casper. We believe we know what we hold. But of course, we need to see the proof, in the sense of we need to see the adoption and the price rally up higher. We mean, again, I have no doubt in my mind about it. Once you actually see it, it'll be a completely different story. So that's what we're waiting for right now. And yeah, the homework's going to pay off soon, I hope, as well. But knowing I was right will give me the most pleasure. Oh, 100%. 100%. And, for me, for one, I'm not an arrogant person, I like to believe. So I'm not going to be... I'm sure there's going to be many people out there, and rightly so, who are going to be saying, I told you so, I told you so. That is not what I try to do. The way I try to portray. I don't want to be someone who says, I told you so. My simple premise is, I believe in something, I research into something, and I express my belief. And when it comes to fruition, I'll be like, that's the importance of doing research. That's all it is. And that's, again, what I try to do every single day. And equally, then again, shameless plug, but you know I've got to do to it. I have this VIP group again. You can join for free for 7 days as well, where we go into a lot more in-depth information about, stuff coming to crypto. We covered a document from INTBA yesterday. And equally, we've got a lot more coming as well into crypto. How much money we're going to see, how much transactional volume we're going to see on crypto is absolutely insane. And that's the sort of volume we can see Kaspa start to soak up in the future markets as well. We do all of that alongside trading information, alongside educational videos and whatnot. Things are, there's a lot more coming to the space, and we're trying to capitalize on that in this VIP group again. So if you want to find out more, links down below in the description, homepage. And yeah, we welcome you there, because there's a lot more coming as well. And we do try to, again, we're going to try and share alpha wherever we can about everything big coming to the space. 3 days ago, I got my first block mining on my Kaspa node. Well, big up to you, Kaspa, Andy, man. Hopefully, is that the first one you've got under 10 BPS, are you saying? And I think you've been mining for quite some time as well. So if that's the case, then that's not that good. I've seen people who've been mining Kaspa. I think Tony been mining it, and equally other people who I've been in contact with who've been showing me, frequent blocks hit. So if you only just started mining, then, I mean, that's good 3 days ago. But if you've been mining for a while, I think you have been, then maybe that's not ideal. Can you clarify with me, please? Why is everyone talking about crash next month? I have not really heard as to why. I'll see if I can find out exactly why everyone's talking about there being a crash next month. I've not heard anything myself about there being a crash next month. I have been seeing some videos about it, but I've not watched any of them. So I'll try and see if I can find out why. I think I saw House of Crypto make a video about there being a crash coming soon. I don't know right now is my answer. I'll look at it. Later today and see if I can provide an answer about it. But I don't see a reason for why there'd be a crash right here and now. You might see a pullback, but crash typically means a 10% pullback in Bitcoin and crypto. I don't see why we'd have that just yet. I mean, if you're looking at the M2 here, that's 8%. So maybe that's the crash they're talking about, this pullback in context of the M2. But otherwise, I don't really know why right now. On my own node, I have been mining on pool since August 2023. Oh, and I'm not entirely sure why it's taken you so long to mine a block. If you're solo mining, then maybe it'd be easier. But if you're mining in a pool, maybe it's not. Because I think 10 BPS made it easier to solo mine as opposed to mining in a pool. But everyone else that I have, has told me about it, they've been hitting blocks more frequently. I mean, of course, 10 BPS is not guaranteed for you to hit a block, but it's 10 times more likely. But I mean, yeah, I'm hoping that will, increase for you at the very least, Andy. But I mean, again, I don't mind Kaspa, so my expertise in that is, I mean, I still know about it, of course, because I cover Kaspa. So I do understand the elements of it, but I don't mind Kaspa, so I don't understand the significance of everything about that. That's why I gotta have the community who can help inform me myself. Your first block on your own. Okay, well, that's good then. I mean, that's good then. You started mining on your own as opposed to being in mining pools. So that's good then, at least. So hopefully it'll make it easier for you now with these 10 BPS to start solo mining more so, and doing it frequently and consistently. And then of course when the transactions come through with more adoption, you end up making more money through that as well. The give and take, which is great to see. But I mean that is again where we're looking at right now. Things are looking relatively strong. I have been seeing one thing that could be a call for concern. I have been seeing is the Japanese 40-year yields, bonds, treasury bonds, are rallying much higher. And if that's the case, therefore being the Japanese yen strengthening a lot more as well, then we could potentially see a bit of a pullback in the market soon. But again, right now things are still looking very, very strong in my belief. Markets for the most part are looking red today, but things are for the most part looking very, very good. You can see here more developments happening right now. Kaspa at an Enugu Tech Fest in 2025 from May 7th to 9th. So we're seeing again backed by the KF, great to see all around. Really, really cool stuff. Seeing the adoption of Kaspa still growing more and more, and this is how you're going to get the name of Kaspa out there, and more developments and more what am I looking for? Adoption, more demand, and higher price as well. And my Twitter once more is lagging because my computer is really, really slow. But look, there are over 300 visitors right now. August 17 active wallets created, 40 devs engaged, 130 new community members, and 15 business leads. So again, this is really, really cool to see the KF are doing a good job in trying to raise the awareness and stuff of Kaspa, getting more members out, getting more adoption and understanding the project out there. So again, this is great to see right now, all in all, and things are looking stronger. One thing I have actually saw recently as well, which I don't cover very often in this channel right now, I even said to Lumos here saying apparently we'll get a stablecoin bill next week, which would be really, really big, which is good to hear. One thing I've been seeing a bit recently is, not sure if I can find it right now, it's a YouTuber called Stash. I believe it was, no, was it Stash? It might, I think it was Stash. No, it wasn't, it was Wookie, Dr. Wookie, I think his name is, where basically he covers Gala. We don't cover Gala very often, but I have mentioned it in the past briefly. And Gala, apparently they're doing something in regard to their founder notes when they're making it really, really expensive. So even now he's leaving the project. So right now, Gala is looking like to be in a little bit of a mud right now, which is, I mean, I'm kind of low-key happy that I did take profit on it when I did. Because I used to hold Gala way back when. You can see even I have a chart from when I was holding it. Way back when. And yeah, I think I sold around here. I sold around here, around this like rally upwards, and then it came down, up and down. But yeah, I think Gala right now are I know Gala has some connections to the US government apparently, partnerships and whatnot, but I think Gala are, you know, in a very difficult spot right now, very, very difficult spot, and I don't think they have. I think they lost some sight of what they are building. They're meant to be a gaming company, and you know they kind of switched off now. I think they had a whole situation with their founders, and it just kind of spiraled worse and worse from there. So, I mean, yeah, once more, you've got to do research into every project you're looking into right now. Nothing is guaranteed in this space. You know, even like Sui, again, Sui's doing okay today. One of the only few that actually looking like shows up from a green movement, but nothing guaranteeing that Sui's going to be the best project in the world going forward. You've got to still do research in everything you're looking into. I've hit hundreds of blocks since the fork. Are you GPU mining? I mean, some people have also much more powerful setups that can allow them to mine more, I imagine, as well. It's still luck-based, but hitting a block solar mining has improved. I've been mining 100% on solar, and I don't have that much capacity yet. Oh, there you go again. So yeah, I know Kryptonian's got a complete jar of this, like, Iron Man setup on crypto mining, so I'm sure he's doing very, very well, but you've got a lesser setup. Then, of course, it'll be a little bit harder to hit blocks, but I'm sure, again, you'll hit more and more as time goes on, fundamentally speaking. But with that being said, if anyone's got any more questions for you to ask right now, but otherwise then you might cut it a little bit short today, because again, that is pretty much all the news of today's stream. Things are ultimately looking very, very good. I'm hearing more and more about, again, the growth of crypto. We're going from here. I mean, Mike Novogratz here saying that gold is a $22 trillion asset and Bitcoin is a $2 trillion asset. So Bitcoin is about to make the next leg to 130 to 150k, which I do think is a good area that we're going to be into as well. I think we're going to probably hit around there. At this point, we're in part discovery and Bitcoin go a lot higher. I mean, maybe Bitcoin does surpass gold in the future. Who knows? But I think, again, we are, you know, early and we're going to see a lot more come to the space. So, again, if you've got more questions, let me know. Otherwise, then that might be for today's daily live stream. I'll be back tomorrow at the usual time, which will be a few hours later than today. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed, as always, leave a like, share your friends and subscribe for more. If you want to know more about crypto and Kaspa and other things as well, then come check out the free community, equally the paid one as well, VIP, to cover a lot more in depth in there as well. And yeah, keep learning more, guys. Saturday, happy weekends and stuff. We might see next week be a very, very big with stablecoin legislation. That could be a big market catalyst for crypto to go higher as well. I've got a couple super small miners hitting blocks almost every day. Okay, maybe just be different setups, whether it be GPU or solar mining. Maybe that's different as well. But again, I'm sure, I mean, from what I've heard, yeah, solar mining is a lot more profitable or much, you know, improved anyways. So hopefully everyone's luck will improve as well. But that being said, have a great day, good evening, and good night, everybody, wherever you are. Keep being productive, keep learning more. And yeah, we're early, we're looking good. Don't be emotional, be logical. And I'll see you all in the next one. Take care now.